on Australia's Business Channel. This is Trading Day.
Hello, I'm Richard Goncalves. These are the top stories this trading day. Gas blast impact. Santos sees an 11% fall in second quarter production because of the Varanus Island gas explosion. And our share market is slightly stronger this afternoon. Looking at the figures, the S&P ASX 200 up by about 0.3%. Of the blue chips, AMP is up by 4.5%, although BHP Billiton is down by about 2.2%. That's mainly because of a fall in commodity prices overnight. Well, shares in Kingsgate Consolidated have rallied by the most in a decade. It's received final approval from the Thai government for the lease of its Chatri North mining site. The company says access to these new mining areas next to its current operations allows for a major increase in the grade of gold mined and the life of the mine. Chairman Ross Smith-Kirk says the grant will return the company to its former position as a profitable, low-cost gold producer with considerable upside potential. To tell us more about it all, I'm joined now on the phone by Gavin Thomas, the Kingsgate Consolidated Managing Director. Gavin, thanks very much for your time. Can you first of all describe generally these mining areas in Thailand?
We have an area in central Thailand, about 3 hours north of Bangkok.
Matthew, we'll talk about the RBNZ cutting interest rates this morning. Was that really a surprise?
Not particularly. It was a 50-50 call, whether it would be this week or in September.
Let's now take a closer look at the Asian markets with Bloomberg's Josie Ling. She joins us now live in Singapore. Josie, we are talking about Japanese stocks. Of course, they were in focus today because they were the Japanese were celebrating Ocean Day yesterday. So are the market playing a bit of catch-up?
They have indeed, Richard. Japan's Nikkei 225 index caught up with Asia's rally.
Josie, before we continue on, I just need to tell our viewers about a bit of our breaking news, some significant developments in regards to NAB. It is pulling out of the purchase of ABN AMRO. Of course, we told you and we heard from NAB a couple of weeks ago saying that it may be interested in making that $1 billion play for the Australian and New Zealand assets of ABN AMRO, the Dutch bank, which has recently been taken over by the Royal Bank of Scotland. In a three-line statement to the ASX, I'll read it to you.
On Australia's Business Channel, this is Market Moves with Richard Goncalves.
Hello, I'm Richard Goncalves. Welcome to the program. Over the next half hour, we will find out who were the day's winners and losers on the market, which stocks traded hands the most, and we'll get some broker recommendations also. And to help us do all of that, I'm joined by Todd Kerslake from Shaw Stockbroking. Todd, thanks for coming in.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
Thursday, we've now seen 3 days of gains and 1 of losses this week. Why today in particular an update?
Look, I think we're following on the back of, we have had a couple of good days, as you mentioned, which is fantastic.
These are the top 5 by percentage change on the S&P ASX 200. Great Southern number 1 today, up by 12%. Valad Property Group, 12% firmer, closing at 60 cents. Macquarie Countrywide was stronger by 10%. So too was Babcock & Brown Japan, and Macquarie Airports, 9% stronger today. The number 5 stock on the 200 by percentage change. A couple of things we see there in common and throughout, I guess, the top part of the 200 list, property stocks back in the sun.
Yeah, they've had a good day today. I think I'd be a little bit, not concerned, but I'd tread cautiously going into that sector at the moment.
That's kind of interesting, all those downgrades in the banking sector. Sure. Coming from Citi, slapping sells on ANZ and NAB. What's your view?
Look, I think there have been downgrades across the board in the banks, and clearly the sentiment, the mood and the direction has been set by the offshore banks with the downgrades.
On Australia's Business Channel, this is Trading Day.
Hello, I'm Richard Goncalves. These are the top stories this trading day. Gas blast impact.